Welcome to the English Speaking Corner. I am so glad you are here with us tonight. Take a deep breath and let it out slowly. This is your quiet space. This is a place where there is no pressure and no rush. You have finished your day and you have worked very hard. Perhaps you are sitting in a comfortable chair, or perhaps you are already lying in bed. Wherever you are, I want you to feel at home here. I am joined today by Mark, who is also ready to end his day with some calm English practice.
Hello, Sarah. It is wonderful to be here. I must admit, I am feeling quite tired today. It was a very long afternoon at the office, and my brain feels a bit heavy. Usually, when I feel this way, I just want to scroll through my phone and look at social media for an hour. But I know that doesn't actually help me feel better. It just makes my eyes tired and my mind feel more cluttered. So I am really looking forward to this session. I want to replace that mindless scrolling with something that makes me feel peaceful and productive at the same time.
I feel exactly the same way, Mark. That feeling of brain fog at the end of the day is so common for all of us. We call it the evening slump sometimes, or just being burnt out. But tonight, we are going to do something different. We are going to use English to help us relax. If you are listening at home, I want you to remember that it is okay to be tired. You do not need to be a perfect student tonight. You just need to listen and follow along with us. If you enjoy this calm way of learning, please do subscribe to our channel. It helps us keep this corner open for everyone who needs a quiet place to study without the stress of a traditional classroom.
That is so true. Tonight is about gentle progress. Sarah, I loved how we talked earlier about the idea of winding down. That is a great phrasal verb for this time of day, isn't it? To wind down. It is like a spring that has been pulled very tight all day, and now, slowly, it begins to loosen and return to its natural shape.
That is a beautiful image, Mark. To wind down. Let's look at that phrase for a moment. W-I-N-D. In this case, we pronounce it like find or kind. To wind down. It means to gradually relax after a period of excitement or hard work. For example, I like to wind down by listening to soft music. Or you might say, I am winding down after a busy week. Mark, what is one thing you did today that you are now winding down from?
I am winding down from a very long meeting that lasted 2 hours. It was full of data and difficult questions. Now I am letting all of those numbers go. I am shutting down my work brain. That is another good phrase, Sarah, to shut down. We usually say this about a computer when we turn it off completely, but we can also use it for ourselves. I am shutting down for the night. It means I am not going to think about emails or deadlines anymore.
Exactly. Let's practice that together. If you are listening, try saying this out loud after me. I am shutting down for the night. Feel the words. I am shutting down for the night. It feels like a promise to yourself, doesn't it? It is a way of saying that your work is finished and you deserve to rest. Mark, when you shut down your computer today, how did it feel?
It felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. I physically felt my muscles relax when the screen went black. I think it's important to have a physical action that represents the end of the day. For me, it is closing my laptop and putting it inside my desk drawer. I don't want to see it until tomorrow morning. When it is out of sight, it is out of mind. That is a common idiom we use. Out of sight, out of mind. If I can't see the laptop, I don't think about the work.
That is a very healthy habit. Out of sight, out of mind. We can apply that to our phones too. Many of us keep our phones right next to our beds, but that makes it very hard to truly shut down. The blue light from the screen tells our brain to stay awake. So, as part of our routine tonight, let's talk about putting the electronics away. We can call this unplugging, to unplug. Literally, it means to pull a plug out of a wall socket, but figuratively, it means to disconnect from the digital world.
I love that, unplugging. I am unplugging from the internet so I can plug back into myself. That sounds like a great way to start the evening. Sarah, I noticed you mentioned the blue light. I've started using a dim light in my bedroom about an hour before I sleep, to dim the lights. This means to make the lights lower or less bright, D-I-M, dim. It creates such a peaceful atmosphere.
It really does. Let's look at some adjectives to describe this feeling. When the lights are dim, the room feels cozy. C-O-Z-Y. This is one of my favorite words in English. It describes a feeling of warmth, comfort, and relaxation. Think of a thick blanket, a hot cup of tea, and a soft pillow. That is cozy. Mark, what makes your home feel cozy in the evening?
For me, it is definitely my oversized wool sweater and a pair of thick socks. When I put those on, I feel snug. That is another word similar to cozy, snug, S-N-U-G. It means fitting closely and comfortably, like a bug in a rug, as the old saying goes. I feel snug and safe. It is the opposite of the cold, bright, busy world outside.
Snug as a bug in a rug. I love that expression. It is very playful. So we have our cozy clothes on, the lights are dim, and we have unplugged our devices. Now we are ready for some reflection. Reflection is when we think quietly about our experiences. It is a wonderful way to practice English because you are talking about your own life. You don't need to invent stories. You just need to look back at your day.
This is the part I find most helpful for my speaking confidence. When I try to describe my day in English, I realize which words I am missing. But since I am alone and it is quiet, I don't feel nervous about making mistakes. I can just explore the language. Sarah, you mentioned earlier that we should ask ourselves some questions. What is the first question we should think about?
The first question is very simple, but very powerful. What was one good thing that happened today? Think about your whole day, from the moment you woke up until right now. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be a delicious cup of coffee. It could be a smile from a stranger. It could be the fact that you finished a difficult task. Mark, what was one good thing that happened in your day?
Let me think. One good thing that happened today was that I saw a very beautiful sunset while I was driving home. The sky was filled with bright orange and deep purple colors. It only lasted for a few minutes, but it made me stop worrying about traffic and just appreciate the beauty for a moment. It was a small moment of peace.
That sounds lovely, Mark. You used the word appreciate. That is a fantastic B1 level word. To appreciate means to recognize the value or the beauty of something. I appreciate the sunset. I appreciate your company tonight. If you are listening at home, I want you to try to answer this question too. Speak it out loud, even if it is just a whisper. What was one good thing that happened today? Start your sentence with, one good thing was, and then tell us. I will give you a moment to think and speak.
I hope everyone took a second to say that. It feels good to speak English about something positive, doesn't it? It changes the energy in the room. Sarah, I think the second question you had was about learning.
Yes, Mark. The second question is, what did I learn today? This could be a new word in English, or it could be a lesson about life. Maybe you learned how to use a new software at work. Maybe you learned that you need more rest than you thought. For us, right now, maybe you are learning the word snug or the phrase wind down. Mark, what did you learn today?
Today, I learned a lesson about patience. I was waiting for a very important email, and it didn't come until late in the afternoon. I spent the morning feeling anxious and checking my inbox every 5 minutes. But then I realized that checking it didn't make the email come faster. I learned that I need to trust the process and focus on the things I can actually control. It was a lesson in staying calm under pressure.
That is a very deep and important lesson. I think we all struggle with that sometimes. You use the phrase, trust the process. That is a wonderful expression. It means to have faith that things will work out in the end, even if you are frustrated right now. And for everyone listening, I want you to trust the process of your English journey. You might feel like you are moving slowly, but every evening you spend here with us is a step forward. You are building a habit, and habits are the foundation of success.
I agree. Consistency is more important than intensity. Doing a little bit every night is better than doing a lot just once a month. Sarah, I think we have one more question for our reflection, right?
Yes, the final question is about the future, but in a very calm way. What is one thing I will do differently tomorrow? This isn't about making a huge list of goals. It is about one small adjustment. Maybe tomorrow you will drink more water. Maybe you will take a 5-minute walk at lunch. Maybe you will say hello to a colleague you don't usually talk to.
That is a great way to look at it. It makes tomorrow feel like a fresh start. For me, one thing I will do differently tomorrow is that I will leave my phone in another room during my lunch break. I want to spend those 30 minutes just eating and breathing, not looking at news or messages. I want to have a real break from my mind.
That is a perfect goal, Mark. It is specific and it is achievable. When we make goals, we want them to be achievable. That means something you are actually able to do. ACHIEVABLE. Achievable. If you say you will run a marathon tomorrow, but you haven't run in a year, that is not achievable. But leaving your phone in another room is something you can definitely do. What about you, listening at home? What is one small thing you will do differently tomorrow? Try to start your sentence with, tomorrow I will, and then say your action.
It is so interesting how thinking about these things in English makes them feel more intentional. It is like the language acts as a filter, helping us see our lives more clearly. Now that we have reflected on our day, I feel even more relaxed. My voice is getting lower, and I feel ready to move toward sleep.
I can hear that in your voice, Mark. You sound very peaceful. This leads us into our next section, which is about sensory immersion. Sensory means related to our five senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. When we focus on our senses, we move out of our heads and into the present moment. This is a form of mindfulness.
Mindfulness is a word I hear a lot lately. It really just means being aware of where you are and what you are doing right now without judging yourself. In English practice, it means noticing the sounds of the words and the feeling of the breath.
Exactly. So let's do a little sensory exercise in English. I want everyone to think about what they can feel right now. For me, I can feel the cool air on my face from an open window. I can feel the weight of my hands resting on my lap. I can feel the soft fabric of my cotton shirt. Mark, what are some sensory details you can notice right now?
I can hear the very faint sound of a clock ticking in the hallway. It is a very steady, rhythmic sound. Tick, tick, tick. It reminds me that time is moving slowly and gently. I can also smell the scent of lavender. I have a small lavender sachet near my bed. Lavender is known for helping people sleep. It has a very floral and calming aroma.
Scent and aroma are both great words for smells. Scent, S-C-E-N-T, and aroma, A-R-O-M-A. We usually use aroma for something pleasant, like the aroma of fresh coffee or the aroma of a garden. And you mentioned the clock was rhythmic, R-H-Y-T-H-M-I-C, rhythmic. That means it has a regular, repeating pattern, like music or like our breathing.
Let's focus on that rhythm for a moment. Let's practice some slow shadowing. Shadowing is when you listen to a sentence and repeat it immediately after, like a shadow following a person. But tonight, we will do it very slowly. I will say a sentence about a peaceful scene, and then Sarah, you can repeat it, and our listeners can repeat it with you.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. Let's try it.
The moon is high in the dark sky.
The moon is high in the dark sky.
The world outside is quiet and still.
The world outside is quiet and still.
I am safe and warm in my bed.
I am safe and warm in my bed.
My mind is becoming calm and clear.
My mind is becoming calm and clear.
I am ready for deep and restful sleep.
I am ready for deep and restful sleep.
That was very relaxing. Even just saying those words makes me feel like I am already drifting off. Sarah, you used the word still. The world is quiet and still. That is such a powerful word for the night. It means no movement. Everything has stopped.
Yes, stillness is a gift we give ourselves at night. We spend all day moving, talking, and doing. At night, we can finally be still. If you are listening, try to find that stillness in your body. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Let your jaw relax. Let your feet feel heavy. You are part of that quiet and still world now.
It is amazing how much tension we carry in our bodies without realizing it. I just noticed my shoulders were a bit tight, and when you said that, I was able to let them go. It feels like I am releasing the stress of the day. To release, R-E-L-E-A-S-E. It means to set something free. I am releasing my worries. I am releasing my tension.
That is a perfect word, to release. Now, as we get closer to the end of our time together, let's talk about some natural English phrases for being tired and going to sleep. In a textbook, you might just learn I am tired or I want to sleep. But in real life, we use many different expressions. Mark, what is one you use often?
One of my favorites is, I'm ready to hit the sack. It sounds a bit funny, doesn't it? The sack refers to a mattress or a bed, so hitting the sack just means going to bed. I'll usually say, well, it's late, I think I'm going to hit the sack. It is very informal and very common among friends and family.
It is a classic. Another one very similar to that is I'm going to hit the hay. Hay is the dried grass that animals like horses sleep on. Long ago, people sometimes slept on mattresses filled with hay. So hitting the hay means the same thing as hitting the sack. It means it is time for bed. I also like to use the phrase, I'm going to turn in. To turn in. It just means to go to bed for the night. You might say, it's 10 o'clock. I think I'll turn in now. It feels a bit more gentle than saying, I'm going to sleep. It's like you are turning away from the world and turning into your own private space.
That's a lovely way to explain it. And what about when you are very, very tired? Not just a little bit, but completely exhausted.
Then I would say, I'm beat. B-E-A-T. Like someone has beaten a drum. I am beat. It means I have no energy left. Or I might say, I'm wiped out. Like a wave has wiped out a sandcastle on the beach. I am wiped out. Both of these show that you have worked very hard and you are completely finished for the day.
Those are great. Let's practice those. Repeat after me. I'm beat. I'm beat. Now try, I'm wiped out. I'm wiped out. And finally, the more formal one, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. You can hear the difference in the sounds. I'm beat is short and sharp. I'm exhausted is long and heavy.
It really is. And once we are finally in bed, we hope to sleep very well. We have a great idiom for that, to sleep like a log. A log is a thick piece of wood from a tree. A log doesn't move. It just stays there, heavy and still. So if you sleep like a log, it means you sleep very deeply and you don't wake up during the night.
I hope everyone sleeps like a log tonight. Or another one we use is to sleep like a baby. Although, as many parents know, babies don't always sleep very well. But the idiom means to sleep peacefully and without any worries.
I prefer the log one myself. It sounds more solid. Sarah, this has been such a wonderful way to end the day. I feel so much better than I did 20 minutes ago. My English feels smoother because I am not trying so hard. I am just letting the words flow.
That is the secret, Mark. When you relax, your brain can actually process the language better. When you are stressed, your brain shuts down and it's hard to remember anything. But in this calm state, you are like a sponge, absorbing the sounds and the rhythms of English. If you found this helpful, please like this video. It helps us know that you want more of these calm, podcast-style lessons. And if you haven't already, click that notification bell so you can join us for our next quiet study session.
It really does make a difference. Before we go, Sarah, what is the next step for our listeners? What can they do tonight to keep this feeling going?
I have a small challenge for everyone. After you finish listening to this and before you close your eyes to sleep, try to think of one English word that describes how you feel right now. Just one word. It could be calm, it could be tired, it could be peaceful, it could even be sleepy. Say that word to yourself 3 times. Then, if you have a piece of paper or a journal near your bed, write it down. This is your one-word journal. It takes 10 seconds, but it links your English practice to your real life.
That is so simple and so effective. I'm going to do that too. My word for tonight is definitely grateful. G-R-A-T-E-A-F-U-L, grateful. I am grateful for this time, and I am grateful for everyone who joined us. It feels like we are all part of a small community of learners, all around the world, all winding down together.
That is a beautiful thought, Mark. We are all connected. No matter where you are, we are sharing this moment of peace. You have done a great job today. You have practiced your listening, you have improved your vocabulary, and you have given yourself the gift of rest.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you to everyone listening. I think it's time for me to turn in. I'm ready to hit the sack and hopefully sleep like a log.
Good night, Mark, and good night to all of you at home. Tomorrow is a new day, and you will wake up feeling refreshed and more confident in your English. Sleep well, dream in English if you can, and we will see you next time in the corner. You are doing so much better than you think. Keep going, one quiet step at a time. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye and sweet dreams.
As you continue to lie there, let the sounds of the night settle around you. Remember that learning a language is not a race. It is a journey. It is a slow walk through a beautiful forest. Sometimes the path is steep and you feel tired, but then you find a clearing like this one where you can sit, rest, and look at the view. You have reached a clearing tonight. You have taken the time to breathe. Think about the words we practiced. Think about the word cozy. Think about the feeling of being snug. Let those words become part of your thoughts.
I am thinking about the word peaceful. It is such a quiet word. Peaceful. It starts with a soft P and ends with a gentle L. Peaceful. My breathing is peaceful. My heart is peaceful. Everything is exactly as it should be.
It is. If you find your mind starting to wander back to your work or your chores, just gently bring it back to your breath. Breathe in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for a moment and breathe out for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is called box breathing, and it is a wonderful tool to keep your mind in the present.
I can feel my heart rate slowing down as I do that. It is a very physical way to tell your body that the day is over. Sarah, I was thinking about the word tomorrow. Tomorrow can sometimes feel scary because of all the things we have to do. But tonight, tomorrow just feels like a possibility. It is a blank page.
A blank page. That is a perfect metaphor. Every morning you get a new blank page to write your story. And on that page, you can write some English words. You can choose to be kind to yourself. You can choose to be patient with your learning. You can choose to find another small moment of peace.
I like that. I will choose to be patient. I will choose to enjoy the process. I think that is the most important thing I learned today. Not just the English words, but the feeling of being okay with where I am right now.
That is the greatest lesson of all. You are enough right now, exactly as you are. Your English is enough for today. You don't need to be perfect to be successful. You just need to be present. So let's take one last breath together. Inhale the calm. Exhale the stress.
I am feeling so sleepy now. My eyes are getting very heavy. It is a good feeling. It is the feeling of a body that is ready for rest.
Then go to that rest, Mark. And to everyone listening, go to your rest. You have earned it. We are so proud of the work you have done today. Not just the English, but the work of taking care of yourself. This corner will always be here for you when you need a break from the noise of the world.
Thank you, Sarah. Good night.
Good night, Mark. Good night, everyone. May your sleep be deep, your dreams be kind, and your heart be at peace. We will be waiting for you here in the English speaking corner whenever you are ready to start again. You are becoming smoother and more confident with every episode. Trust yourself. Believe in your progress. We are with you. One more time, softly to yourself. I am ready to sleep. I am at peace. Goodbye for now, and have a truly wonderful, restful night.